Hello and welcome to Dish Shelved with Adam White. Today I'm doing the 5 books to die for tag, about 5 books I'd really like to have. Uh, so hopefully tags seem to be pretty popular to watch, so hopefully that'll get a few views for me. um, I've got 5 here that I'm going to show you. One of them I cheated a little bit because it's not really a book. It's an individual comic book, but I couldn't come up with a 5th book, so I came up with this one. And it's the first one I'll show you. And if you can see it there, it's Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man. I'd really like to have that. I think even though he's not always necessarily my favorite hero, I think he's the best superhero that's ever been created. I think that Stan Lee and Steve Ditko did a tremendous job when they created Spider-Man, and just his supporting cast and his group of villains. I just think that Spider-Man's the best. And I'd really like to have his first appearance, which is cost prohibitive. Uh, I wouldn't even have to have it in very good condition. I would take any copy I could get of it, but I would really like to have it, but it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's something I'll never have, but I'd really like to have it. Okay, the next book is, sorry, that's the best way I can put it on here, but the next one is the manuscript edition of A Princess of Mars. It's a boxed edition of the book from Edgar Rice Burroughs Books. It comes with illustrations and uh, all sorts of extra stuff. I think maybe like a replica pen like he would have used to write it, and uh, I think some lithographs or something, but it's just a really fancy edition of A Princess of Mars, which would be really cool to have, except it was $200 and it's sold out. The only way I could get it now would be on eBay for more than $200, so I probably won't be getting it. But it would be probably the fanciest edition of this book to have. Kind of like Michael K. Vaughan is doing his top either 100 or 25 books that he wants, and he wants to get the fanciest edition. This would probably be the fanciest edition of A Princess on Mars, which I'd like to have, but again, cost prohibitive and sold out. Next is, which is extremely hard to see, is by the same company that puts out Edgar Rice Burroughs books, that puts out the manuscript edition of Princess of Mars. This is the artist edition of Tarzan of the Apes. Uh, it's the fanciest edition of that I can find. It comes with lots of art and lithographs, and uh, just it's a boxed book too, with just a lot of extra stuff, and fanciest edition I think you can probably get of Tarzan. Uh, it's still available, but it's $250, so that's a little bit rich for me. Uh, but it would be a really cool one to have. And again, these books aren't in any particular order that I want them. These are books that I want, that I can't get for one reason or another. So this Tarzan book is still available, but like I said, it's $250, so that's a little bit steep. But it'd be really nice to have. Next is, if you can see it, it's the Bronze Age Omnibus of Batgirl Volume 2. I know this is an odd book to have on a book list of things that I really, really want, but I've got the first volume and I really enjoyed it. I did a video on it. Uh, and there's a second volume, but it's out of print and you can't get it except secondhand for like $250 or something. So if it's ever put back into print by DC, hint, hint, I will definitely be getting it probably from InStockTrades.com because they always have the best prices on comics on collections like this. And I would really like to have this, but it's not available to get except at a very high price on the secondary market. So it was just something that I wanted Now this next one would be my top pick for something. It wouldn't even really matter the book, whether it was a book of poetry or short stories. And I don't think it's going to show you it at all because it's white. But it's a signed copy of a Dorothy Parker book. Dorothy Parker is my favorite author of all time. She wrote lots of poetry and short stories. She never did get her novel done, but I really enjoy her work. I've got an extensive collection of Dorothy Parker. I've got all her poetry, all her short stories. I've got a book that collects all her sort of lost stuff that has been discovered at later points. I've got all her biographies, uh, a couple of things on Kindle that were just like follow-ups to one of her biographies, just a short story type thing about her. And I mean, I've got, someday I'll do a video. I'll probably have to do 2 videos on all her stuff because I've got all of it. I don't honestly know of something that she wrote that I don't have that's in print. Uh, and I would really like to have one of her, an edition of one of her books uh, signed by her. There are some out there. I've found some on eBay, but we're talking like $700. So it's out of my price range. And I'll probably never get it. But I would really, really like to have a signed edition of a Dorothy Parker book. And that would be my main to die for book. And like I said, it wouldn't really matter if it was one of her poems. I've seen it, Enough Rope. That would be a really good one to have, a book of her poems. Uh, and but I really wouldn't care which book it was as long as it was signed by her. I've seen a lot of first editions signed by her, and again, they all run in the $700 and up category. So it's something I'll probably never have, but it's my top on my wish list for books to die for. So I hope you found this video interesting. I'm sorry about the poor condition of showing you the books on my iPad. I know they're kind of hard to see, but that's the limit of my technology budget because I just film these in one take and I don't have any editing software that I can add up the images. Uh, if I did a little bit of background work, I could probably come up with something and start doing that, but I just haven't had the opportunity or the uh, I can't think of the word, but I haven't really had the gumption to do it yet. So we'll still do it the old-fashioned way. Uh, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I will see you guys next week.